I'm going to show you how to take the heater core out of an 81 Turbo Trans Am. Most of the years are similar. The only difference is if you have air conditioning or not. The hardest part of this job is, I believe, the firewall. My wheel well is out, so that makes it much easier. Most people cut a square door, they bend it back, and that gives them access to this bolt down here and the lower heater hose fitting, which is very, very difficult to get to if you have the wheel well in. That being said, make sure that there's no undercoating on this bolt. If there is, use a wire brush and clean it off. Maybe some lacquer thinner to make it comes off very easy. Mine's loose because it's just held in there by a clip. Here's the lower fitting, and there's the upper fitting. Remove both hoses. Just unscrew the worm clamp, pull the hose off. Same thing on the bottom. Loosen the nut, take the nut off. Here's my nut. And then on the other side of the heater box, which I can't get to, somewhere in the engine compartment here, you'll see the hole right down there. That's the next bolt, and then the next bolt is up there if I can get to it. And once you have those three bolts, the nuts taken off the bolts and the two hoses, you move on into the engine compartment, into the passenger compartment part of the car, and we'll do that next. Now we're going to remove the heater core box from inside the car. The first thing you can do is come on this side, and what we're going to do is remove the vacuum from this canister right here. After that, there is a piece, it's the rusty piece right there hanging. That is going to be disconnected. It's going to be connected by a screw to a hole right in the box. My camera doesn't show it. Right there, that's going to be connected by one screw. Remove that. Then come to the passenger side. You should have this piece somehow attached to that. Mine was never hooked up, so I have no clue how it goes on. Sorry, I can't help you with that. I think it screws to the ducts up here. Let's put this away. Okay, what you're going to do is remove the kick panel and then disconnect the vacuum canister. Mine broke. Disconnect the vacuum canister. There's a spring. I guess this goes to something in there. I have no clue. So remove this, set this on the side. The kick panel piece, I don't even know where that is. I can't find it. Okay, after you remove that, what you want to do is remove the inside of the glove box. There's a bunch of screws all around here, and the whole inside just pulls right out like a cardboard piece. Then what you're going to do is, and I'll post a picture of this if I know how, you're going to reach in and disconnect the vacuum that goes where that black hose is going, right in here, right where this thing goes. Yours will be shorter. I extended mine nice and long because it broke. So it might have been this orange one, I'm not sure. I think it is. I'm not sure. And then the piece that would be here, you're going to disconnect the bolt, and then you're going to pull a washer straight up and slide this up, and you put the washer back. Once everything there is disconnected, you're ready to try to pull the heater cord down and out. Most people get rid of the passenger seat and the console. They take them both out. I did it with the console in, the seat in, and the passenger door shut. Don't ask me how. You want to remove the rug. I don't know if I mentioned this. Take the rug and fold it out of the way so you don't spill fluid all over the place. My rug is shot, so I didn't care. But just to give you an idea, once you get it loosened, you're going to try pulling it out and then maneuvering it in some odd way, because the pipes are going to be sticking out. You're going to try maneuvering it so that you can get it out. And this is about as far as I'm going to go right now, because I don't need to. I cheated. Like I said, I don't have the heater core in there right now. I did everything afterwards. So my biggest problem is going to be trying to put it back in. So maybe to put it back in, I will get rid of the center console to make it easier. Okay, now I guess we're going to go to replacing the heater core with the new one. Okay. This is the view inside the glove box. Here's the screw that holds the bracket to the actuating rods. You're going to remove this screw, and then you're going to come over here, and here's a little washer right here. Slide this washer up, and then pull this piece right off of that. And there it is right there. Once you have this removed, you're done. And this is the original vacuum hose piece that mine broke and I extended. It's inside there. Okay, so we have the heater core unit out from under the car, under the dashboard, and we're going to start to take it apart so we can get to the heater core. So this is the way it was laid out, and what we're going to do is first we're going to remove these screws that I already have. I've done it already. Keep everything on the side so you know where it goes. I'm going to flip it, and here's the two tubes, the way they mounted in. This is the original heater core. We're going to take out this screw here. This one in the middle. One on the end. These are the two studs that go through the firewall, and over here is where the other stud went through. It's clipped on. Mine broke. Plus, this is where the ground strap goes. It's going to go from here to this bolt. It's attached to the bolt that has a clip, so you can't. But mine broke. So once you have those three bolts out, you can take this unit out, straight up and out. What I did was I replaced the foam here. It's you can scrape it off with a razor blade. It peels right off like Scotch tape. Then I cleaned it with some lacquer thinner, and I bought some from Home Depot, and I put some foam back on. There's also another piece right here I did. Let's see if you can see it. This is another piece. I had foam originally, but mine was gone, so I put it back on. Just measured the size. I think it was like a 1/4 inch or something like that. Okay, let's move this over. I also put foam on that little trap door in there. Let's see if I can make it move. I can't. We'll do that later. Okay, now onto this. To get the heater core out, you can see the way it fits. This is the original core. It locks into this tab here. This tab here fits nice all around. And there's that bracket and another bracket on the bottom. So we'll flip it the way it was. Okay, let's see, is this a right socket? No, it's not. Of course it's not. Okay. Let's see. And then the other two are these. Okay, now let's flip it. Okay, here's one bracket that held it on, like that. And here's the other. They're shaped a little different, but they only go on one way because the holes match when you put it on. And then the heater core comes out. Let's see. This heater core has 81D. It's a Harrison. That's the original heater core. The car's in 81, but it leaked somewhere in the middle. And there's a company online that rebuilds the heater core. They put all these fins back in. They want around $300 to do that, so it's not worth it. I found another company that will recore it. He wants half, but I don't think it's, worth doing. So Now comes the new one I just got, which kind of resembles it, pretty much. There's two different size heater cores. This was like 8 1/4 by 6 or something like that. The larger one is for the non-air conditioned car. So if you have air conditioning, you want the smaller of the two sizes. So now this one fits. If I could do this with one hand. This one does fit. There's a little bit of a gap on both sides. It's not as tight as the other one, but once I put those brackets on, it should be pretty good. So I'm going to go screw the brackets on, and then I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, I got the straps back on. Here's one, here's the other. Fits good on this side. Nothing had to be trimmed. I didn't have to have the pipes reset back in. Sometimes they stick out. The 90 is like over here. Then you have to have the pipe cut and soldered back in place. This company did a good job. It fits. There's a little gap over here. It's a little dented, but I could put foam there. I'm not too worried about that. And if you a good time now to clean up the inside, if there's any debris in there and dust and whatnot. Over here, this is a different hose. The hose is about this long. Let's see. It's about this big, and it's mine was orange and so dry that the minute I touched it, it broke in half. So there's a port here and a port on the inside. If you loosen all these screws, every screw here, this thing will come off, but this will keep it from coming off. You could take it apart by playing with this piece right here. Unscrewing this, it's a weird fit, so I'm not sure. I didn't want to break the plastic, so all I did was pried up the metal, took out this piece of rubber, and I stuck the socket inside, and I disconnected the linkage. It was very easy. It goes back together really quick, and the linkage looks something like that. There's the trap door, and here's the spring. And the spring connects to this hole right here. Okay. So this one has one vacuum port. This one has two vacuum ports, one on the inside. I found that they're not that hard to find. They're the same for a couple of different Pontiac cars. So even if you don't get it for the Trans Am, it's the same. These two bolts were bent and broken on mine. So to fix that, I took a hacksaw and cut the original bolt flush. You can't knock them out because they're spot welded in place and you'll damage it. I cut them flat with a hacksaw, then I took a file and went nice and straight across until it was flush. I dimpled the center of where the bolt was, dimpled this one, and I drilled out small. Then I used the next size to 1/4 by 20 threads. I bought a stainless steel nut and bolt, screwed it up from the bottom, put some red Loctite on it, and my focus sucks. I put some Loctite on it, and now they're solid. You can't move them, so at least I fixed those. And then to do this, I'm just going to drop this right in. Everything goes right into place. I have to find my ground. You need the ground strap because the water, there's no metal touching metal. The water going inside will kind of cause electrolysis to happen, so you ground the heater core to the body. This way it's got metal to metal instead of water to metal, which is not good, or coolant to metal. And then I'm just going to put all the pieces back on the way they came. I took a lot of pictures, so at least I have an idea of how to put it when it goes back on. The cable attaches here, and then this is the piece where this little spring went. This pulls right off. You put the spring back on, and it goes like this. And what else? Is there anything else I can show you about this box? There is a foam washer. This one's kind of shot, let's say. This is the original washer. I think I'm running like this, but I think I'm just going to make a piece of foam and go right around it. And this heater core, new, I got it, the name of it is Vista Pro, and I got it for about 50 bucks compared to what the production houses want. They want like 80 or more, some of them. So I added some extra foam on the outside of the original piece. Not that one. I added some foam here for the piece that goes to it, and that's about it. And thanks for watching. How I disconnected the rest of the box once I had it inside. I removed all the screws on the outside, and this piece right here, you disconnect this and this linkage falls apart. Just make sure you know that you have one hole and all the markings, so when you put it back, it goes back the right way. There's a vacuum can. This is the rubber grommet that goes inside.